Welcome to the Wake Before the Day podcast with my parents, Clark and Bobby. We're excited to talk about the Bible and the Holy Spirit adventures. Thanks for listening.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Wake Before the Day podcast. We are nearing the end of our study of Genesis, and today we get the joy of looking at Genesis chapter 42. Focus of the story goes back to Joseph's family, who are getting hit hard by the famine along with everybody else in the world at that time.
Yep. Let's pick it up. This is verse 1. When Jacob learned that there was grain in Egypt, he said to his sons, "Why do you just keep looking at each other?" I feel like this is me when our kids are standing in front of the fridge.
Yeah.
It's like, just, why is the door open still?
Shut the door.
Like, choose something, or, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Verse 2, he continued, "I have heard that there is grain in Egypt. Go down there and buy some for us, so that we may live and not die."
It's hilarious.
So just do something.
Yep.
So Jacob's like, okay, let's do something. Then 10 of Joseph's brothers went down to buy grain from Egypt. But Jacob did not send Benjamin, Joseph's brother, with the others, because he was afraid that harm might come to him. So Israel's sons were among those who went to buy grain, for there was famine in the land of Canaan also.
So if you had any question about Jacob's growth and if there's any favoritism still being played out in the family, this gives us our clear answer. Yeah. Yes, there's still favoritism. Although Joseph is gone, the second son of Rachel is there, Benjamin, and he's still showing favoritism. Verse 6.
Yeah, let's continue.
Now Joseph was the governor of the land, the person who sold grain to all of its people. So when Joseph's brothers arrived, they bowed down to him with their faces to the ground. And as soon as Joseph saw his brothers, he recognized them. But he pretended to be a stranger and spoke harshly to them. "Where do you come from?" he asked. "From the land of Canaan, to buy food." Although Joseph recognized his brothers, they did not recognize him. And then he remembered his dreams about them and said to them, "You are spies. You have come here to see where our land is unprotected." It's like literally like an epic scene out of a movie.
It is.
It's been years since they've seen each other.
Yes.
Right? They've all probably changed a little bit. I bet maybe Reuben and Zebulun packed a few pounds.
Got beards.
Joseph is
beards.
well built and handsome, and he's got his bling
Probably
and his
clean
new
shaven.
robe, clean shaven. So they're thinking he's dead, gone. He's been gone for a long time.
The person in front of them is not who they would think is
Never in
Joseph.
a million years they did not recognize him. He looks like an Egyptian, and he's powerful, not their little weasel brother who gave a bad report about them and got thrown into a hole. So here again, when you talk about Joseph's appearance, it is good to note, like we said yesterday, previous podcast, Joseph's fully immersed in Egyptian culture to the point where his brothers didn't recognize him. Joseph and then Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are our case for saying, you can be in the world, but not of the world.
Yeah.
So much to the fact that you can look like people physically, but your heart can still be revering and fearing the Lord. And so when people do say, should we put up strong boundaries and totally stay away from the pagan world and not participate in community things, the answer is no. You can still participate in community plays and sports and town gatherings or whatever. Just make sure your heart is worshiping God and God alone.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's what they were able to do here. The Bible doesn't give us a detailed guide on how to do it. It just tells us it's possible.
Yeah.
In verse 10, they're like, "No, Lord, we're not here trying to scout out your land. Your servants came here to buy food. We were all sons of one man."
It's a famine.
Yeah, no, it was a famine, dude. Haven't you looked around? Haven't you heard? And Joseph's got to be chuckling to himself.
Yeah.
And the brothers responded, "Your servants are honest men, not spies." "No," he said to them, "you've come to see where our land is unprotected." But they replied, and it's interesting, they just keep unpacking their story. "Your servants were 12 brothers, the sons of one man who lives in the land of Canaan. The youngest is now with our father, and one of them is no more." So it's wild in a way they stick with the story that they've held on to for so long, and it's true.
Yeah.
The one brother, for all they know, is no longer. They don't get caught up into the details.
Yep. So now in verse 14, it goes back to Joseph. Joseph said to them, "It is just as I told you, you are spies, and this is how you will be tested. As surely as Pharaoh lives, you will not leave this place unless your youngest brother comes here." So, okay, let's prove your story true. "Send one of your number to get your brother. The rest of you will be kept in prison, so that your words may be tested to see if you are telling the truth. If you are not, then as surely as Pharaoh lives, you are spies." And he put them all in custody for 3 days. And so there's a strategy now that's kind of unfolding with Joseph here, where he's saying, like, have you changed? Like,
Yes.
I see who you are, I understand. And he even sees, like, there is some willingness here. Like, you're saying the truth, because Joseph knows actually what the truth is. You're saying
Yeah.
the truth about it.
Yeah.
But there's something here, and especially with the word testing, that's at play. And so, they threw me in a cistern. They sold me
Yeah.
to the Ishmaelites. Like,
Yeah.
are you the same self-seeking people? Like, even with Benjamin, who's back home, like, is that the real
because favoritism
story?
is still being shown here. So
Yes.
he's thinking, has anything changed? Yeah. So connecting
Which is
this
biblical.
though, and connecting this podcast though with previous podcasts, we've addressed the questions: does God test us? And the
Right,
Bible gives
right.
us a clear answer to that. Yes, He tests us, but He never tempts us. The second question is, should we test God?
Yeah.
And the Bible also clearly tells us, no, it's not okay to test God. So the third element to this testing that this Bible keeps bringing up, these passages, is it okay to test other people, human to human, at that human level? And the Bible actually says, yeah, it's okay to do that at times, and there's actually great wisdom in it. When young Timothy was establishing the church in Ephesus, Paul was writing his letters, and that's where 1 Timothy and 2 Timothy come from. If you ever read Ephesians, you're given a better perspective as to like what's happening in that city, or the middle to end of Acts. You see Paul go to Ephesus, and it's intense. But what Paul tells Timothy in 1 Timothy 3, verse 10, is when they're electing leaders, he said, first, they must be tested.
Yeah.
And they must be tested to see if there is anything against them. Then let them serve as, in this case in point, deacons. So test them. He's talking about test their character, test their integrity, test their knowledge of the scriptures. So it's okay to test people, not to tempt them to sin, but to test them. It's biblical. Going back to the brothers now, what a terrible spot to be in.
Yeah.
Your family's on the brink of death because of
Right.
famine. You've been sent far away from your dad. And now they're all likely thinking that they're done for. Like,
Right.
this is it. This guy's accusing us
Against us.
of being spies. And you'll see in just a moment that they're looking at this experience through their experience. And they're thinking, this is God's judgment come down on us because of the way we treated Joseph years before. So you want to pick it back up in verse 18?
On the third day, Joseph said to them, "Do this and you will live, for I fear God. If you are honest men, let one of your brothers stay here in prison while the rest of you go and take grain back to your starving households. But you must bring your youngest brother to me, so that your words may be verified and that you may not die." This they proceeded to do. They said to one another, "Surely we are being punished because of our brother. We saw how distressed he was when he pleaded for us for his life, but we would not listen. That's why this distress has come upon us." And Reuben replied, "Didn't I tell you not to sin against the boy? But you wouldn't listen. Now we must give an accounting for his blood." They did not realize that Joseph could understand them, since he was using an interpreter. Oh man, he turned away from them and began to weep, but then came back and spoke to them again. He had Simeon taken from them and bound before their eyes.
So you see, these guys are plagued with regret and guilt and shame.
Yeah.
They're haunted by the memories that they have tried to keep concealed. Up to this point, too, it doesn't seem like they've repented of it. And that's the kind of torment that you'll experience when you live in unrepentant sin.
It's paranoia.
If you try to hide stuff, you're always looking over your shoulder, wondering if
Yeah.
you're going to get caught.
Oh, this is it. This is the payback.
And then what happens naturally in humanity is there's a rejection of responsibility, and they play this game called the blame game. And you see this right away in Genesis,
Yeah.
where God's like, "Adam, what have you done? You didn't teach the woman the ways of the Lord," and he's like, "It's her fault.
The woman you gave me.
The woman you gave me, she did it." And he kind of blames it on God too. And then Eve's like, "Well, yeah, but it's actually this snake's
serpent,
fault."
Yeah.
And here the brothers are like, "No, it's his fault. It's your fault. It's their fault. It's not my fault." And right now, if you're Joseph, on one hand, you see their pain and their regret.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you get a sense of like there's remorse. But when you watch them bicker and fight and blame each other, throw one another under the bus, you can't be that encouraged at this point. But Joseph gave orders in verse 25 to fill their bags with grain and to put each man's silver back in his sack and to give them provisions for their journey. After this was done for them, they loaded their grain on their donkeys and they left. At the place where they stopped for the night, one of them opened his sack to get feed for his donkey. And he saw the silver in the mouth of his sack, and he says, "My silver's been returned," he said to his brothers. "Here it is in my sack." And their hearts sank, and they turned to one another trembling, saying, "What is this that God has done to us?"
So what's going on? They're already living with the guilt of like, oh, Joseph and what's happened there. And then now we're being accused falsely of being spies. And okay, we're barely above water. Like we're above water barely because this guy in Egypt, he's got it out for us.
Nostrils above water.
And then they open their bags and see, now it looks like we've stolen silver from the person who's trying to give us a little bit of grace in this scenario. It's like, can it get worse?
And they again look back at God and they're like, this is a death sentence. God's going to get us because of what we've done.
Yes.
So next 7 verses, here's a quick summary as we near the end of the chapter. Jacob's sons do return to Canaan. They tell their father everything that's happened, how they went to Egypt, they got there successfully, but then this well-built, handsome, blinged out man in an ornate robe accused them of being spies. Then they explained, and they told the ruler all of their life story. We're 12 brothers, born of one man. The youngest brother is at home. One brother is no more.
Yeah.
And then the man told them, you have to bring back the youngest brother to keep their honesty, proving one of them to be true and loyal and all of these things. Put the silver back in their sacks. This is just like an epic mess.
It is.
Yeah. So Jacob is despairing in his eyes because he's like, I've already lost Joseph, and now this guy wants Benjamin. You all left Simeon behind, which I don't know if we mentioned that or not, but Simeon's the one that
stayed.
He's the one that stayed behind and was kept until the brothers go back and then bring Benjamin to him. And it's like, this is not good.
No. So Reuben, he tries to have another plan again. So in verse 37, says, Then Reuben said to his father,
Knucklehead,
you may put both of my sons to death if I do not bring him, Benjamin, back to you. Entrust him to my care, and I will bring him back. But Jacob said, my son will not go down there with you. His brother is dead, and he is the only one left. Again, that language, man. If harm comes to him on the journey you are taking, you will bring my gray head down to the grave in sorrow.
That's so hurtful.
That's a lot, yeah.
Because he said his brother's dead and he is the only one left.
Yes.
And those other brothers have to be
They're
like,
all standing
but
right in
there's
front of
10
him.
of us still right here. And he's like, yeah, but you weren't born of Rachel.
Right, yes.
And is essentially what he's saying. Now, going back to Reuben, what a dumb plan. Forgive
Again,
my
there's
language.
Like leveraging, like, oh.
Reuben's like, I'm going to take Benjamin,
my
and
own sons.
if I don't get him back to you, you can kill my sons, because that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And that's what Jacob wants. Jacob's like, yeah, I want to eliminate more of my offspring. That's good. That's like Laban, when Sodom and Gomorrah perverts showed up at their door, and they're like, hey, we're going to take these guys and violate them. Laban's like, okay, here are my virgin daughters. Like, he's trying to be a good guy. You're like, dude, you're being a terrible dad. Here, excuse me. It's the same thing. You're like, Reuben, you're a knucklehead. So this chapter ends with, again, like a ... to be continued. And you see Jacob saying, no, these ideas are trash. And I hate where we're at right now. There's a famine. We might all die. I don't know, but he can't imagine losing Benjamin.
Yep.
And that's how this chapter ends.
So come back, you guys, because we're going to talk about chapters 43 and 44, and there is going to be some resolution here. We are going to see some. So thanks for being with us. Come back in tomorrow. Share the scriptures with someone. Share what you're learning. Share how the Lord's meeting you, and come back tomorrow. God bless you.
See you then.
The Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face towards you and give him his peace. Have a great day.